while I throw some balls out, I'll just recap the last 20 years of my life. I can do it, well, pull-wise, I can do it fairly quickly. So, around the turn of the century, I went into dead stroke for about 5 days. And then I spent about the next 5 years trying to get that back. Didn't happen. Then I took about 5 years off from shooting any kind of even semi-serious pool. There was a girl involved, and I'm not complaining about that. Trying to find my chalk, there it is. Then after that, once I started playing again, about 11 years ago, I've been trying different things. Seems like millions, it's probably more like dozens of different things, different styles, different physical elements, things like that. Things like, oh, shorten your bridge. That might be one thing. Move this hand back. That, you know, like Alex does. That might be another thing. Or different aiming systems, pivoting, ghost ball, whatever. Just trying different stuff, because I found out during those years when I was trying to get dead stroke back, that I enjoyed it. That was my first shot of the day, so I am allowed to miss it, although it's still kind of embarrassing. So what was I talking about? I was talking about how there's something wrong with it. Oh, trying just different things. And what would happen with me, and what has happened to me over and over and over, is I'll try something, whatever, I'll just try it, and I'll shoot really well. Almost invariably, I'll shoot really well for like those first few hours, when I first start trying it. And Then I'll get all excited about it, Hey, I finally found the secret of pool or whatever. Then, either I'll go out in public to my pool hall or something, and I'll try to do the same thing, and it won't work. It will fall apart. This has happened, well, for every secret of pool that I've come across and tried since 2011. Every one of them. You would think that I might have learned my lesson by now and not get so excited about things. But maybe if I don't get as excited about things, it's not as much fun for me. So I spent the last several days with yet another secret of pool, and trying to flesh it out, get used to it, whatever. And it actually lasted longer than most. It didn't fall apart until today. Or yesterday. So what was I going to say? Oh, what I was going to say was, even though I know this is going to happen, I know it's going to fall apart, I still do it. Partly because it's fun, partly because I'm just stubborn as hell, and partly because this table just rolled off. It really sucks. And partly because I always, a little part of me is always thinking, oh, this is the time where it's all going to be great, and it's not going to fall apart. Anyway, the whole point I want to make of this video is that whatever I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm trying, I have this issue where eventually I will do what I will fall in love with that. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to start messing with shortening my bridge. But kind of like, if any of you are old enough to remember, like the Alan Hopkins always had a really short bridge. And we're talking about, whatever that is, 5-6 inches. He always had a really short, compact bridge. And he could be very, very accurate with that. And he could move the cue ball around really well with that. What I will do is I will switch to, well, try doing something like that, for example. Shoot really well, but then after a while, a day, 2 days, a week, I will start to fall in love with that. And a part of me starts deciding subconsciously, that's all I have to do. Shorten my bridge, that's it. Don't have to do anything else. Don't have to do any of the other shit right. As long as I shorten my bridge, that's the secret of pool. This is basically the way my life has been for the last little bit over a decade. I could do something like with a pivot. If I'm going to do a pivot aiming system, I'll start out, all right, fine, I'm going to pivot this 13 in. And that was a really good lead. Now I'm going to pivot to one in. And I'll shoot really well when I first start doing it. And I'll think, goody, secret of pool. I'll fire up my camera. I'll make a video for myself about it. Hey, Dave, don't forget about this because this is a secret of pool. And then it falls apart. And it falls apart because I start deciding subconsciously that all I have to do is pivot. And I don't have to do any of the other stuff right. This is subconscious, and I know this is a problem for me, and I know I'm an idiot when it comes to this because I keep falling for the same loop over and over and over and over and over. This thing that I was doing last week, or for the last week, was based on the fact that I know I can cut a ball really thinly and fairly accurately with a certain motion. So let's put this 12 here on that intersection. Remember, I have dots. Put this cue ball here. I know that I have decent success. I'm probably about 25% on cutting this 12 in. If I do it right. Well, I cut it pretty good, but I didn't cut in. And so I was just trying to build on that. Can I get that kind of accuracy just in regular shooting without it having to be some ridiculous stupid cut that nobody's ever tried? And that's what I've been messing with. The thing is about this particular style that I've been working with, there's much more to it than that. There's much more to it than simply the motion of, on my backswing, making sure that I arc upwards, not straight back, and certainly not down. Not for this particular thing. It's arcing upwards on my backswing. And it's also got to be fairly fast. Not a lot of time for practice strokes. Practice strokes seem to hurt it. So I do all this, and I have been tweaking it and trying to understand it a little bit better so I don't forget. Because it's a secret pool. Not secret pool. Just like everything else, it did fall apart. And just like everything else, it fell apart in part. Okay. Because I fell in love with this motion, this upward curve on my final backswing. And that little teeny tiny stupid part of my brain decided that that's all I needed to do. As long as I do that, then everything's going to be great. And there for a while, everything was great. That 7 was going to bank in easy. But this time I missed it by 3 diamonds. This is what happens with me all the time. I don't know if this happens to other people. Other people, to me, watching them on YouTube or AccuStats or whatever, they always tend to be much more consistent than me. I've never been consistent. They have a particular style or whatever that they do. That's what I mean. Not they're shooting really well consistently. I'm talking about they have a consistent style. I don't. I never have. Odds are pretty good. I never will. I have to watch myself go do the same thing over and over and over and over and over of trying something, having it work really well, getting all excited, usually firing up the camera and making a video for myself about it, and then either take it into public and it falls apart, or just keep shooting down here and it falls apart. Because I'm falling in love with whatever that change is. Whatever that little thing is that is different, that's what that stupid part of my brain decides. Well, that's all you have to do. All I have to do on this shot is draw back just a little bit and shove the ball forward like Alex does. And sometimes that works. That has worked really well for me in the past. Or all I have to do is be all flamboyant and shit. Like Bustamante. I can't make a ball. I don't like it when I can't make balls on video, but I've talked about this before. I want to set realistic expectations. If you want to get on YouTube and watch somebody, run a bunch of balls, there are other places to do that. My channel is very rarely going to be one of those places. I hate combinations too. What was I getting at? I was just getting at this mental problem that I have of falling in love with some particular thing, physical element of a stroke that I will do all the damn time, forever and ever, for the last 10 years at least, and I know it's going to happen. But what I have also learned is, like, over these past several days, I knew it was going to happen. I knew that this is an exaggeration, was not the secret of pool, okay? I knew this. But I also knew that I couldn't just stop doing it. I had to let it play itself out. I had to let it convince that stupid little part of my brain that it's not the secret of pool. It wasn't enough for me to consciously know it. That stupid part of my brain had to know it as well. And the only way it was going to learn that lesson was by watching it happen, watching it fall apart. And so that happened, and I'm always disappointed. A little part of me is always disappointed when it does happen, when something falls apart. But I'm never surprised anymore. I'm never surprised anymore. I got over that a long time ago. Of being surprised by something not lasting. Overcut the crap out of that ball, didn't I? Good. No, y'all didn't know I would cut a ball that much. Anyway, this was supposed to be, I don't know, much more informative. But the more that I think about it, the more I think it's not really informative for anybody except me, because there probably aren't a whole lot of people that are always trying different things. Always trying different things. Most people, most normal people, I think, maybe when they're first starting out, they'll try some different things, and eventually, within a few months maybe, then they'll go, oh, this is the way things work for me. This is going to be, my style. For me, that is not the case, because things don't last. Now, I guess I'm done with the talking. Where's my remote? I know it's been a while since I made a video, and I wanted to make something that wasn't completely stupid. I'm not sure I've succeeded in that. If I had to summarize, which I guess I do, because I always try to do a summary, if you're going to try something, it's possible that when you first start doing that, whatever it is, different aiming system, some physical element, shortening your bridge, whatever, it could very well work really well for you when you first start doing it. But you still have to do everything else right. You still have to get lined up right and be solid, or whatever you're doing besides that one thing. You still have to keep doing all that. And if you don't, then you start relying on just that new thing, that new secret of pool. Then it's bound to disappoint you, because it can't hold up on its own. In my experience, any of the new things that I've tried over the years, none of them can hold up on their own. And thinking about it, sensibly, why should they hold up on their own? No. To make a shot, to run a rack, whatever you're going to do, to play pool well, you have to do an awful lot of things right every time. And if you don't, then work on it. And if you feel like you're relying on one thing too much, like I do all the time, it's a new thing, then don't do that anymore. Try to work on that. Like I said, I've gotten to the point now where I realize that these new things that I do are not going to last. That's only a realization I've had over the last few years. At least I know it now. Maybe in a few more years, should I live that long, then maybe I won't even bother with it anymore. Maybe I would just get sick of trying new things, even though it's fun for me. There's always that part of me that is always like, this could be the thing that pushes me through the plateau I've been at, since the turn of the century. This could be the thing. This could be the secret of pool. But maybe I'll get to the point where I won't even think that anymore. And the only reason I'll do it is because it's fun for me to do it. I think that would be a nice evolution in my, brain as far as pool goes, to not have to go through that loop every time and have that disappointment every time. Even though I know better, I still have it every time. Every time it happens, crap, that didn't work, or that stopped working. So my brain's already scrambling trying to find something else. I'm out there watching YouTube or whatever. What's this guy doing that I could try? What's this guy doing that I could try? I'm already out there looking for some other new secret of pool to try, because the little stupid part of my brain again thinks that is what's going to push me through the plateau that I've been stuck under, to the glass ceiling or whatever. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts, and that's pretty much what you get on this channel is my thoughts. Talk to you later.